What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good, and welcome to my social media book tour for Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, this time with the book. Now, I say this time with the book because I've already done a social media book tour for Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, but I did it without the book because I was still thinking about whether or not at the time if I was going to put the book out. But as you can see, I already put it out. And there's really nothing new to really talk about this book. If you want to see my previous social media book tour for Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, in which I talk everything about this, go ahead. I really wanted to do another one because another reason to talk about Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, but also a chance for me to actually show the book. Although I have shown the book in different ways before, I wanted to do a social media book tour to actually show the actual book and where to find it and all that stuff. So here's the book. This is the front of it. Here's the back of the book. Now, on the back of the book, it says, in 1957, Matthew is sitting on the couch watching his favorite TV show, Woody's Roundup, when he sees a commercial for Sheriff Woody dolls. That's the back. That's what it says on the back of the book. Me right there. You open it up, and it's the only, besides the back of the picture, which is in color, I wanted to make sure that the title was in color, using some classic Toy Story colors. You open it up. Now, right here, you can see is all the other books that I have written that are now available on BarnesandNoble.com and on Amazon. Link is in the bio, all that good stuff. Here is, now I put a table of contents on here because I felt it was necessary, because there is first the introduction, right? And then we have part one, and part one is the story version. Part two is the screenplay version, and then my final thoughts for it. Now, let's open it up. Here is Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, and then here is, there you go, there's that. Then you open, that's the introduction, then you open it up, and boom, there's the first one. Now, to show you, give me a sec here, there we go. Okay, so here is the screenplay version. Now, the screenplay version, I used a different font, as you can see, for it, and then you open it up, see, I did put it up as there we go. And then I think this would be fun for those who do theater, possibly. You know, like if you're doing like a school play, if you're like in middle school or in high school, even elementary, or in college, you know, and you can use this as your next production, not your winter production, but like your spring production. You can do a spring production of Matthew, a Toy Story prequel. Got all the lines for you and how the story goes as a screenplay. And then let's get to, I know it's a lot. I'm very proud of this story. And then final thought, boom. And then the final thought. And I'm going to go ahead and read the final thought before I go ahead and say goodbye. Writing Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, at first didn't feel like I was taking a risk. I felt like I was writing a story for me and for anyone else that wanted to read Matthew, a Toy Story prequel on my WordPress page, which is available for free on my WordPress page. But in the years that followed, from 2020 to 2025, each time I came back to Matthew, a Toy Story prequel, I began to see how it was more than just another story I wrote. I began to see it was a generational story, a story about a boy that grows up, becomes a loving husband, father, and passes an important thing from his childhood to his son's childhood. His favorite childhood toy, Sheriff Woody. When I realized what it was I actually wrote all those years ago, I began to see the risk I took and will continue to take for this story. copyrights, legal reasons, courtrooms, lawsuits, everything that Pixar and Disney will possibly hit me with is a risk I'm taking for this story. But for me, it's worth the risk. It's worth it because in all my efforts in trying to get Pixar and Disney's attention, I'm hoping this, whether it's in a courtroom or in a boardroom, I'll be loud enough for those I'm trying to be loud to have the conversation I want about this story, and hopefully bring this story to life for you, the reader, to see this story and to be transported into the screen like I hope you are transported into each page. That is Matthew, a Toy Story Prequel. Link is in my bio for this book and for the word, and if you just want to read it on my WordPress page for free. This has been my social media book tour for Matthew, a Toy Story Prequel. Whether you read it on my WordPress page or you decide to get a copy on barnesandnoble.com or on Amazon, thank you. Thank you for reading this book. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate all of you. I am continuing to be loud about this story because I believe in it so much. I believe in the potential. I believe in the magic that it can make. And I believe in the making a circle feel more complete when it comes to those first 3 Toy Story films within the story of Woody, Andy, and Andy's family, and how Woody became a family heirloom, and how Andy met, and how Andy's father, Matthew, met Andy's mother, who I named Jennifer, and what happened to Andy's father at the end of Matthew, a Toy Story Prequel, and help everything feel a lot more complete. At least when it comes to those first 3 Toy Story films, and the little things that happen throughout Toy Story when it comes to Andy and his mother, give it more meaning too. So I think that's really cool. Anyway, I am Anthony K. Thomas. This has been my social media book tour for Matthew, a Toy Story Prequel. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you in advance for reading this story and for getting the book. And take care of yourselves. I will see you on the next one. Peace, y'all.